Good day, gents and lasses, and welcome to the Romanian River channel. Today we have a game which epitomizes why people generally hate Russian tanks. Not so much that they're overpowered or their guns can be extremely fucking annoying, but the fact that sometimes they just don't wanna fucking die. Now, to start with, I'm gonna go with the T-34-85 because, well, I have to grind it. It's almost up to the point where it's a good tank, but not really yet. It has the fire extinguishing and the repair kits, but no artillery, and the gun isn't that precise. So yes, you have to channel the hand of Stalin quite fiercely with this configuration on the tank, or you quite you quite literally get occasions where the shell suddenly decides to become a UFO. Now, this map is quite infamous in War Thunder circles for being the map you generally do not want to play with high detail settings on simulator or realistic battles, because no target markers over enemy tanks and the amount of foliage. But with lower detail settings, foliage amount goes down, up to the point you only see trees. And players being players, they want to have the easy way in. Now, this position is usually one of my favorites when I have a pretty shitty tank, but the gun's pretty decent, and the relative range, you can't turn the shell into a UFO quite as easily here. Unfortunately, the enemy is not being too accommodating and is not providing me with a clear shot at anything. Don't worry, that's a bot, so not really anything worth writing home about. But hey, a kill's a kill. Now, generally speaking, this position is well known both by your team and the enemy team. They usually expect somebody to be here, especially when there's a cap circle on that hill. Now, the problem is, generally speaking, if you can line up a shot with a tank that doesn't really have good gun depression, they could probably line a decent enough shot on you. Thing is though, you really do not want to be on that hill with a shitty gun depression, even in a fully upgraded tank. Now, generally speaking, when you're doing air cover in War Thunder Arcade, you dive down. Why? Because the bomber, and usually the attack bomber, will dive on their targets. And if you're not diving before them, you're likely not catch them, especially if they're in one of the faster attack bombers, like for example the Focke-Wulf variant with rocket launchers. Now, what you saw me doing there was getting a nice aerial view of the battlefield to get an idea what to shoot at if I got the chance. Unfortunately, the Russian tanks have one way of going about things. Either their armor is spectacularly troll, or it's spectacularly trolling you. You really do not want to know how bad it could troll you. For example, like on the KV-2, if you know where to shoot that thing, you won't necessarily kill it in the first shot, but you'll cripple it. Problem is, depending on the contact angle between the shell and the armor, that could troll the enemy just as hard as it can troll you. You can actually get a deflection down and pop the ammo on the KV-2 and basically just pop the turret clean off. Or on the other side, you could hit the turret at a glancing angle and the shell bounces completely off. I had that happen with other KV2's armor-penetrating shells, which is quite hilarious for me, and they were pretty much pissed right the hell off. The KV-85 is basically my favorite tank of the battle tier I'm composing my team out of my team of tanks out of right now. Why? Because it's a decent blend of mobility, armor, and gun. The T-34-85 sacrifices a bit too much armor. Generally, if that thing's caught side on, it's dead. The KV-85 sometimes gets lucky. The KV-2, generally speaking, if it gets caught side on, it's dead anyway, because somebody who catches a KV-2 side on, especially if it's alone, won't leave it alone or alive. Now, this part of the game is quite, well, to be honest, boring. Trading shots with a, I believe that is a jumbo with 76, is not that fun, especially when he's held down and the only thing I can get a decent shot on is his mantle. An SU-85 though? Oh yes. Take it like a man. Oh baby. Always felt good to kill one of those. You may think me mean for saying it, but I don't give a shit. Those things can be quite painful when they catch you unaware. Now, when I was shooting that thing, I noticed something. You'll see exactly what in a couple of seconds. Do keep in mind that bomber. Now, me being the scumbag that I am sometimes, I went for the kill. I won't get it on that particular occasion, but generally speaking, I'm a better fighter pilot than I am a tank driver. Quite easy, especially in a Tempest. I don't have any, well, I do have some British planes, but the Tempest I've never actually unlocked. I kinda like this plane. We actually get down to doing something about it sometime, but not in the near future. Now, oh yes, IS, not gonna penetrate that angle, not against the turret, and certainly not against the hull. You need a better shot, but you're not gonna get it from here. Now I noticed something very important. Yes, my squad mate's been there for at least 2 minutes. Now, usually people would be like, dude, just auto-destruct. You know, get away. Nah. Me being me, okay, let's help the bastard out. This is a squad made up by the game, not by myself. I just wanted to help the dude because, generally speaking, oh yes. Oh yes. The dude waited a couple of minutes and irony. I'm on fire, gun's dead, turret's alive. Drivetrain's fucked though. Yes, he's quite a good sport about it, to be honest, but me, well, right now I'm feeling particularly fucked because my gun's not operational and I'm in a position to get shot at. There was an IS-1 over there, but believe it or not, he's the least of my problems. Yes. A T-34-85. And he took out my turret's horizontal? Yes, the horizontal drive. I can't turn the turret around, but yeah. Oh yes. KV-85 eat puny man. Come back here. Come on. Now, that T-34-85 would be enough reason to be panicking, because, yeah, there's also artillery. But wait, it gets funnier with Predens. Now, I keep looking back because that IS-1, I'm not aware if it's dead or not, and I'm not particularly gonna check team lists while I'm getting shot at. Oh yes. No, he does not die. Neither do I though. Here comes the shuttle. Don't particularly know which type it is, but it's done enough damage to actually slow my reload time further. Russian armor. It either trolls you or it trolls the enemy. In this case, we're trolling each other quite vigorously. He must have popped 3, maybe 4 shells into me. That's the second artillery barrage. And my teammate, my squad mate I mean, killed him. Thank you. Oh, a Panzer III. Really? And that's why, generally speaking, Russian tanks are considered to be overpowered. But to be honest, it was Russian tank versus Russian tank, and we weren't doing anything to each other. Mostly because he was miracle bouncing and I was, I think, stuck in such a position that he couldn't get a penetrating shot into my middle front plate, which is the weakest part in the front of the tank, and I wasn't creating a shot trap with my front matlets, so he couldn't get in through the top of the top of my hull. But if you can imagine, I'm quite happy. What with surviving 2 artillery barrages, about 3 close proximity explosions from, I do believe those were 250 millimeter, not 50 millimeter, kilogram bombs, and several shots from a 85 millimeter gun, and a couple of shots from a 50 millimeter. Pretty good game. Stalin was strong with me this game. The wood was good. But of course, at this point, I'm feeling a little bit too Duncan MacLeody and pushing my luck. I mean, I survived so much up until now. Nothing's gonna kill me. The game's nearly over. I'm going to live, and I'm going to be proud of my KV-85. It's strong Russian engineering, comrade. It's strong. Oh yes. Su-185 through the mantlet. Pure Stalin. Okay. KV-85 not afraid of artillery barrage. We already take 2 completely to face, and 1 more glancing. Oh, Su-85s. KV-85 not afraid of puny Su-85. Me crush you beneath tread. Oh, come on. You're going to die. Of course, at this point I'm completely ignoring the fact that my reload is shot to hell and back. Worse than my tank. But I'm feeling particularly plucky. Okay. I can kill you. I can... Okay, I'm getting trolled. What could possibly go wrong? I mean, What the actual fuck? Okay, where did that go? Oh, you've gotta be fucking kidding me. 3 bombs, 3 artillery barrages. That killed me. Yep, sounds like War Thunder. Sounds like Russian tanks. But it was a good game. I had fun, and I hope you enjoyed the replay, lads. Until next time, bafta.